involved with it, but these guys live and breathe at 365.
I want to get back to the exercise here because we've got a big important part. What I would love to see is what you just talked about. If you could write an article, MSA publish it, and then it's kind of preaching to the choir because that publication is only being sent to members. But the appeal there is what you just said, say it to the members, and then ask those members to talk to their buddies that are not members and tell them this.
If that goes on the website, from the website
right.
We can link the.
And so that becomes viral, that becomes print,
and then link
now we start working towards how, and this is a segue, how we're getting to this. With all these issues up here, I've got 1, 2, 3. We don't have all night to tackle everything. But the next exercise is going to include going back to our groups for a few minutes. We're going to answer the question of what will success look like in the area of 1, 2, 3. What resources do you think, not what do you think are needed to make that successful? And then if you can, which is the most difficult part, how do you implement that? So there's 3 questions. I got it written down so you don't have to remember them. But before we do that, we have to pick what you guys think are the 3 most important issues to deal with right now.
land use.
And we did this last time with dots. I want to save some time. Let's just do this by consensus. So anybody start talking about, what do you think? What's
Accountability of DNR and MSA. Monies.
That's going to be the master board.
Okay.
We're going to debate this for a few minutes.
Just put an X by the.
Yeah, just put,
Yeah.
Just put an X mark or something.
X mark it. So you got accountability by DNR.
economics. Just fuel issues and
Public relations.
I think volunteers.
Volunteers.
Volunteers to help take care of these 68 trail systems.
All right, I gotta-
Everything's run on volunteers. I think
I've been waiting for this because I threw these numbers up here. 10, 10, 80. Research has been done for the last 20 years out of a public research group out of New York. And I know the little lady who does this. She's been in the business forever. The research consistently, year by year, comes down when you look at organizations. 10% of that organization, 10% of the members are going to be active. That's Don, that's Jim. 10% are active. 10% are naysayers. They're members of the organization, but all they do is bitch and moan. 80% of an organization are what they refer to as check writers. Happy to belong, here's a check, you guys do great work, thank you. You'll love the check writers, you'll love the check writers, you'll work with the volunteers, and you bring these people to every meeting and listen to what they got to say. That's what the research says, 10, 10, 80. It's just, it's a very simple way to take a look at organizations. It doesn't matter what organization, you're going to have 10, 10, 80. Sure. But, you're right, we do need to develop more volunteers with the MSA. Or at least that's what you're saying. I tend to agree with this.
You do that with communication.
How do you do this? So that's what we're going to get into in a minute. So,
Communication.
Volunteers membership.
Communication.
Communication. I got another one. All right. Communication. Give me a show of hands. Is that one of them?
yeah, absolutely.
I got a definite majority. Membership. Volunteers.
I got that.
Yeah.
All right. Communication. Everyone's going up.
Membership.
Membership.
I go
Slash
membership.
volunteers.
Membership for sure.
Definitely membership.
Education.
Education. Volunteers. Education.
Still got public relations. I mean, public relations ties back into your land use too. That's The better communication. your image looks, the more happy you are to be there.
This is the hard part. You guys got to decide on 2 more to tackle tonight.
Welcome to my world, guys.
About safety training, licensing, or some sort of an endorsement.
Safety training, licensing, endorsement
People don't know what they're doing.
for riders.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Is that an issue you want to put up on, that you're going to tackle tonight?
I vote for accountability again.
Accountability and DNR.
Accountability.
This one keeps coming up. Let's keep talking for a minute.
Education.
You got accountability and DNR?
Accountability, yeah.
Accountability, DNR.
Accountability? Oh,
DNR, just accountability.
Accountability.
All right, keep that going. That one's pretty high. Hold on a second. Any others?
Education.
Education.
Are we saying safety training when we say
Education / safety training.
Yeah, communication.
Well, it's all part of the PR thing. The education is safety training, it's communications, it's public relations, it's image.
Well,
It encompasses a whole bunch of what you're talking about, and will also bring in membership.
I see snowmobile safety education as a standalone, if we're talking about a mandatory system.
We have to think about where we want the MSA to go in the future. What are the key things that we want the MSA to focus on?
Right. What are you going to tell the MSA to focus on?
3 things.
Using the money wisely instead of accountability.
Accountability of dollars is.
I'm hearing that a lot. Number 2, accountability of snowmobile dollars. Yes? Is that going number 2?
Yes.
That's number 2. All right, putting accountability of snowmobile dollars is number 2. So you got one more topic you guys are going to work on, and I think Don said it. Welcome to their world. My God, when Jim called me and when we started talking and I started learning more and more about the MSA and looked at all these issues, plus there's tons more, yeah, these guys are doing a hell of a lot of work.
How do you put it in perspective? And that's the hard part. It's like Bill and I spoke and Jim, we got so many damn fires going. There's only a select few of us that are trying to tackle this at one time. Which way do you go to first? And that's what we're trying to work. And then this is going to help also.
And so the membership, what you're doing here, what we're building is the membership is now talking to the MSA leadership saying, this is what we think the priorities are. These guys are running around prioritizing it themselves. So this is something new. All right?
Communication.
One more. What's the third option you're going to work on?
I think membership, we got 300 or however many thousand snowmobiles, we've got 20,000 members in MSA.
What are the figures again, real quick, Bill? 300 and what registered?
360,000 registered sleds, 19,000 members.
Take out all the duplicates and this and that. We've got about 130,000 families in Michigan that snowmobile.
130,000 potential.
130,000 households in Michigan.
130,000 potential, you got about 18, 19 plus.
15% of
Is
those.
membership the third thing you guys want to talk about?
Without membership, none of it's going to happen.
Without membership, you can't help that 80%.
This doesn't discount all of the other material, because what we're going to do is we're going to capture this, and I talked earlier about challenging the MSA leadership to take this the next step, go into strategic planning. And although we're just going to focus on 3 tonight, trust me, they're going to have to take a look at these ideas that you're giving them as members, as stakeholders within the snowmobiling community. They have to take a look at this.
Don't you think
if they're not already.
as you fix some of the other things, these other smaller things are gonna fall into place. It'll be corrected as you go. Once you fix some of these bigger issues, you're gonna fill in the holes on the small ones.
Right, if it's not membership, I want them to do something about the weather, make it always snow.
Okay, Bill.
We're going to call it.
That's our job.
Weather, raise your hands.
If you guys can control the weather, you won't have to worry about it.
That's right. Membership. I got a vote for membership.
Membership.
I got to, okay.
Ways to increase membership.
All right, this is, I'll repeat the question. Here's the work, no break. We're going to keep going. What does success look like in the area of communication, accountability of dollars, and membership? Then you got to take it to the next step. What resources do you guys think are necessary to be successful? What do you need to be successful? Lastly, if you can get here, and I don't know, you might not be able to, how do you implement that? If you had the resources. If Paul wrote the check tonight and said, here you go, here's the resource, it'll bounce. But, how are you going to put it together?
If I won the lottery, I'd write the check in a heartbeat.
I know you would. See? You gotta love the passion in the group. So, go back to your groups real quick. I'm going to come around and hand these out to your spokespeople. Let's get this exercise done. 15 minutes. I'm going to get gratuitous thank you.
You still got that pen? Okay.
Please. A couple shout outs, thank yous. Trevor and Joe. Joe is taking the lead, so let him know we thank him. Hey, these guys donated the tables and chairs, loaded them up for us, got them here and all that good stuff. Paul actually loaded up his truck, brought the chairs out with me early this afternoon, so just another example of volunteerism. I put a shout out on one of the internet forums and bingo, we got tables and chairs. I think that's an example of what can happen with an MSA organization that has more members. We could give a shout out and say, anybody have this resource? Bingo, it just happens. It's a wonderful thing. So thank you to you guys for your volunteerism, getting tables and chairs. Real quick on the facility, here we go, get it up.
We do rent these for graduation.